Well, hello, creatives, community, and kind folks. Welcome to RPG with DBJ. I am your host, DBJ. Thank you very much for being here, and thank you very much for joining me on this day, the day of Las Vegas. Yeah, we're going to talk about tabletop role playing games of all types. And of course, we're specializing in world building. And this day of series is where we take a prompt, a word or a phrase, and we build upon it. And I thought we would take this opportunity to talk about the settling of the United States and use that for our fantasy tabletop role playing games. And lo and behold, we can't forget Vegas. Now, of course, um, Las Vegas was not a town created at the settling of the United States, but there's some pretty cool things. Hey, Red Dice, what's going on? What's up? What's up? Thank you very much for being here. Really appreciate it. Um, and these prompts, this day of prompt, of course, in general, is a good way for us to change up the flow of our games, right? If we take a day of and we in whatever way we want to insert it in our games, if it doesn't work out, it's not a big deal. It's just one day. That day could be a festival. It could be a day your players have arrived in a location and certain events are happening. And if it doesn't work out, it was one day. You move on, players move on, no big deal. But if your players really love it and you're really inspired by this mechanism, this prompt or word that you used, you keep it in your game, you put it in your back pocket, you put it in your tool chest, your mental tool chest, and you just move on. And as we've gone through developing, creating fantasy versions of different historical aspects of settling the United States, I thought we would talk about Las Vegas and a real world example of having a proverbial city settled by evil, right? So for those who don't know, uh, Las Vegas is a town, a city, and it is notoriously and historical, and actually has embraced the fact that it was settled by mobsters, criminal organizations. And yeah, Las Vegas, meaning the Meadows, also known as Vegas. It is the 25th most populous city in the United States. That's no big deal. But the city bills itself as the entertainment capital of the world, and it's famous for its luxurious and extremely large casino hotels. And, it's even known as a place where, despite the fact that so many other laws are in effect around the United States, that it specifically was established to circumvent certain rules from the federal government and local governments and things like that. And it actually embraces its decadence. The term "whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas" was literally used in their advertisements to get people to visit Vegas. I mean, they had, like they would have it looked documentarian like, where you would see people that were leaving Las Vegas or thinking about their time there, and then all of a sudden they'd roll their eyes and go, "Ooh, maybe I don't want to let anybody know about what happened," and so it's pretty hilarious. We'll talk about some of the things that are like notorious for being in Las Vegas. Yeah, hive of scum and villainy. Yeah. Viva Las Vegas. Yeah, it's. I mean, it it's just built on this like commercial. Everything is like louder and brighter and wider and everything that it needs to be. It's gaudy. It's obnoxious. Yeah, great. Yeah, a great place for country stars to go die. Ooh. Shitlord says gambling, one of two vices I do not partake in. Yeah. It's got a very scummy donut aspect to it, where the glitz and glamour on the inside makes the place seem shiny and overwhelming, and yet just on the outside you can see some of once you remove the shiny sheen and you spray down the decadence, some of the dark moldy parts come out. Yeah, it's pretty nasty. Hey, Red Dice. By the way, you guys, go subscribe over to Red Dice Diaries. You won't, if you are a proponent of the OSR, or I guess what would be today called the NSR as well, the New School Renaissance or something like that, you will not be disappointed. Yeah, code for go to poo. Yeah, I love how you guys do it. Why didn't it show up? There we go. All right. So, oh, already. Yep. Already subbed. When are we going to talk about the big shooting? We won't really be doing that. I understand what you're saying, and here's one problem. First of all, there's always another big shooting, and second of all, I prefer not to talk about current events in light of the people that are involved in it. I actually did that once, and I was like, I kind of regret it. So events that happen in the past, at least one generation or past, I prefer to do it. I mean, it doesn't mean we won't talk about it, but it's just as a general rule. Yeah, and like Shai says, yeah, we talk about that, we'll get mad content strikes. So, um, uh, oh, okay, you're being sarcastic. I get it. No, you're fine. All right, so let's start out with something here. Many times in fantasy gaming, in our fantasy game worlds, we have many examples of a basically a town of scum and villainy, black market, run by criminals, and sometimes we are too brilliant for ourselves in our tabletop role-playing community. We say there's no way a place like this would exist. We don't have examples of it, and people wouldn't flock to a place knowing they're going to get robbed or knowing that there's no good outcome. But I bring to you many examples. Las Vegas, of course, we're going to talk about today, but we do have cities like, for example, in the United States, we consider, for good or bad, we consider Chicago to be a place run by like a kleptocracy, where the only way to get ahead in politics and law enforcement and other things is to basically like bribe and cajole and threaten and manipulate a governmental system to get ahead. And it's almost at the point where it's an accepted practice to be that way. And uh, decadent behaviors where it comes sexual promiscuity and prostitution, gambling, drugs, these things tend to be they work against a civilized society and tend to fall into a region that has been classically known as the red light district. And usually red light districts were known to have like a red scarf over a lantern or a light, and to denote the place in the city. Yeah, yeah, kleptocracy rules the realm. I never got a chance to use that word, and I was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna pull that out of my ass." But yes, the idea that in a weird way, it has its own rules of operation, despite the fact that they aren't written down, that these aren't true rules written into books, but everyone knows you can only navigate this city or this region or county or city state or something by following certain rules. And in fantasy, you could easily represent this by having to bribe city guards just to get into the town, or what's a classic one? Peace bonding weapons. For us old school grognards, there was a time where weapons would be lashed with a rope or thread or something that would bind your weapon down into its sheath, or I don't know, maybe against your horse or mount or something. And you could not release that knot, or if you did, it knew that you violated a rule. And then you could actually bribe the peace binders by allowing it to, if you pull one of the threads, it would instantly release to allow you to use your weapon in the city, and things like that. Shai says, how do you handle gambling in your games? Real gambling games or just dice rolls and skill checks? I like the idea of like pulling in like a deck of cards or um you using the dice rolls as what the in-world game system would have the dice rolls. Like using D6s as craps or something like that. I like those little mini games because there's some fun ones. What's the heck, even fifth edition has a three dragon ante or something like that. Yeah. Red Dice says, I generally go for checks since it saves time, and the PCs might be better at it than the players. Yeah, and that's the other thing too, right? Like I could say I'm gambling, but my player, my character is probably better at it, or at least more experienced with it. Maybe you don't always get better at gambling, but certain gambling things. But yeah, the kleptocrat cathedral always gets its share. Yep. Yeah, Scheiss's Hamburg, 10% red light district, Amsterdam, 90%. Yeah, and you know what? A lot of major cities have like a release valve of that behavior. Find any major city and you'll see if you're familiar with it, people will point you to the red light district, like the district where you the major city has a hard time removing it. So instead, what they've done is they've shunted it off to usually a southern portion of a city, which is weird. Those kleptomancers, you need to be careful of. Yeah, all my spells are all your spells. Yeah. Yeah, and yes, yeah, that is good because I know nothing of card games. Okay, blackjack maybe, but not poker and serious stuff. Neither do I. Neither do I. So usually you can. I mean, you could even, heck, you could, do a quick Google search. You can find something like that, or just take a couple of dice and go, all right, we roll 3d6 in this thing, and they're each different colors or something, and all that kind of stuff. Kleptomancer. Yep. And they even have like one page. You can find yourself like a one pager, like one page poker rules. Let's see, like you can get yourself you could easily pop yourself out like a poker rule or like what's the other one craps rule or something like that, and just find one. Yeah, here's a bunch of them. Hey, you could just let me pick one random one. Yeah, let's go with this one. Let's do this. Pull this up here. Share this out instead. So yeah, here Etsy, some random thing on Etsy. Poker knowledge tells you which cards, which things like that. So yeah. Let's get rid of this one. But yeah, you can have some fun. Also, Las Vegas historically has been. I mean, there's even movies about this where the mob on the East Coast of the United States taken over different major cities and wanted to expand out. So what did they do? Oh yeah, thanks there, and King. Yeah, it's in the background. It's you're either excited by the Christmas tree, or if you move over to the side, you can also see little Namor, Namor. No. I like the colors, and it is the Christmas season, so yeah, didn't mind that. Yeah, got a little Christmassy, a little bit around the edges here on the show as well. But very famous movies have been made about the settling of Vegas. One of them being strangely, a great idea by some mobsters, having an idea of going to the middle of nowhere to purchase up tons of essentially lifeless area out in the far west of the United States. So one way to add this in the fantasy realm would be to have some individuals of ill repute go, you know what, we're just going to make a space. If we build it, they will come. So they did that. They were to figure out how to find some water sources, buy up some cheap land very quickly, and then from its inception, manipulate the legal system to benefit themselves. So For example, there's always been a rule here in the United States that everyone knows that casinos can deny you entry for any reason. Casinos can kick you out playing in their place of establishment for any reason. They do not have to give you a reason. They don't have to like you. It could be, and literally, it could be, yes. Namor's got them glittery green ornament trunksies in season, all scaled up and everything. Yep. Uh, and you could very easily mimic this in a fantasy setting. That Council of Seven Wizards that I like to talk about, maybe they move out to the middle of nowhere because uh, experiments and magic is completely outlawed in the rest of the nation or something. And they go out and find some place where it's like, oh, yeah, we're just going to build right here. Yeah. Yeah. The End King said mobsters and gambling, it goes hand in hand. Satyaachi, ooh, the blind samurai, yeah, often deals with Yakuza who run gambling games in local villages. And, you know, we love our fantasy. We have uh inns and maybe some gambling houses and things like that that are done very small. Maybe there's a street or a corner or a back alley where these things happen in one of your city states in your fantasy setting. But I could see very powerful, guilds, or like the thieves guilds and things like that, going, you know what, let's establish our own city with our own rules, before nobility gets involved, before merchants. Like, hey, we've seen the classic blue bloods with the great and powerful names establish places all across the countryside. We've seen rich merchants and pirates establish themselves up and down the coastline. But what about us? Why don't we move to the middle of nowhere? You know? Yeah, yeah. Yes, exactly. Yeah, casino. I'm sorry, sir. We have orders to deny the guy from Shy Squad access to for any reason. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, we know you're not into games and wars, so get the fuck out of Nevada. Yep, exactly. Like, what are you here for? You're here for entertainment? Well, we got a lot of nasty entertainment. And yes, to this day, Las Vegas is known for having for prostitution being legal in Las Vegas. Now, I know I know officially it is illegal, but it is a crime that is not enforced for its protection, as far as I understand it. If it is not outright legal. And I'm sure they would have loved to have like drugs and other types of illegal things there, but they don't. Now, as far as the gambling goes, if you for some reason start winning in Las Vegas, they can deny you service. They can just start to say like, nope, you're out. Like, and the other casinos will share that information, and they will ban you from Las Vegas. And of course, there's plenty of people who all know the secret to winning in Las Vegas, to the point that they're just like they air on ESPN, the sports channels, or at least they used to air plenty of games for the elite gamblers, the elite poker players. They would air that oftentimes, with the dark glasses and the hoods, trying not to have any show any tells and stuff. The little cameras underneath their hands so you could see their cards and whatnot, and they would show on the side. They'd have the running ticker of what percentages they have of getting the right hand and things like that. The idea of whales, very rich people who want to play against to win at money and life, or who have so much money they don't know what to do with it. Yeah. Shai says, I think it's only Reno. Ever heard of the brothel that got confiscated by the government? Don't remember that one. And I don't have like I said, I don't have lots of details. I mean, we can Wikipedia it, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Never played Legacy of the Ancients. Never did that. But to translate this into our fantasy realm, one of the big reasons for even having a place like Las Vegas in your world is that the downtrodden have a lot of when there's no prospect for you in life. Sometimes, just sometimes, we would like to gamble. We'd like to throw a coin into a wishing well and hope that something great comes of it. And along with the idea of people being addicted to gambling, there is a good reason why people visit Las Vegas over and over again. Because just on the off chance, and I'm not talking about addiction so much as the extremely decadent part of this, but some people want to have a few coins in their pocket, and it's a wish fulfillment, you know. And when you add that along with all the glitz and the glamour and things of that nature, it really encapsulates the idea of maybe, just maybe, if we leave home, travel here, some good can come of this. Maybe our 12 copper pieces that we brought in our pockets would turn into hundreds of gold pieces we can take back home. And it does, Las Vegas does dangle the prospect of the gambler's high in front of people. So for those who don't know, there is a thing known as the gambler's high. Yeah. Oh no, yeah. The End King says, yeah, you have to be careful about talking about the whales in your game. The guy who bought all the books might feel called out. Yeah. Whales, not the animal and not even related to the size of an individual, are the individuals who have so much cash, so much liquid money that they can bring to Las Vegas, that they're known as whales. These are high spenders. These are individuals that always come with lots of money, and they arrive and leave by earning and expending so high, large amounts of money that Las Vegas will fly these individuals out. They will give them free penthouse rooms. They will give them limo rides, because the expenditure to get them there is nowhere compared to the amount of money these individuals will lose on a daily basis. So, yeah. Well, do I hear pimping ain't easy? It sure isn't. but it is a thing that happens. Ugh, it is a thing that happens here. Yeah. Shai says some brothel owner got into tax trouble. Daddy government took his Hauser tried to run it himself to make the tax revenue back. It proceeded to run a deficit. Government lost money pimping. Wow. So no wonder pimping ain't easy. Yeah. I don't think you want a government bureaucrat run like it. I think there's an art form to it, probably. And the Yanking says if you're running D&D, your casino should be in the Underdark. This neon oasis in the supernatural darkness, like the light of an anglerfish. Yep, pulling you in. Hypnotized by the bright lights. Although, let's be honest, we have a lot of monster and monstrous styled and religious and wizardry styled adversaries in Dungeons and Dragons that would be perfect in a Las Vegas type setting. How many hags and shape changers and hypnotic styled monsters that exist, illusory adversaries, would absolutely positively thrive in a Las Vegas type of location. I mean, any type of Rust monsters came for the quarters. Oh man, yeah, the Rust monsters standing on soapboxes, trying to. I mean, excuse me, Rust monsters. The clerics with ropes around the Rust monsters' necks, spouting the word of the faithful to let them know you're just throwing your money away. Better to give to the Rust monsters than to give to these decadent overlords to spend your money. He says, sorry, no, by casino, I meant city of casinos. Yeah, it's a city of casinos. Yep, 99% of casinos are slot machines anyway. Pig out time. Yeah. Rust monsters are like, they're damn near rolling on their backs from just the scent. They're just like, oh, you get like a little small pet that like runs around in circles or rolls on their back or something, like they're so overwhelmed with what's going on. Tails just the tail wagging so hard, it's shifting their bodies. Yeah. Have the whole casino as a mimic. It doesn't ease the punchers because they feed it. Yep. Whole I went to the casino and I lost my hand. or hell, you could lose your soul, literally in one of these places. Shai says, brilliant. Clerics control the rust monsters to clear the dens of sin. Song text time. Yeah. Yep. Now, for those, if you've, let's get into some things that are, Grub me. I'll try to read your comments. Okay. So for those who don't know, Las Vegas has the way it's physically set up in Las Vegas. There's two sections. There's the old town Las Vegas, known as Fremont Street, and there's the new section, which is basically the Strip. Now, the new section, the Strip, from usually we get aerial views of what Las Vegas looks like, and it's far bigger than you think it is on the Strip. These casinos own so much property, it's extremely difficult to even encapsulate the distance even one casino takes up versus the others. But you can actually take a bus ride or a taxi or whatever, Uber it over to the old Strip, the old original Strip, Piedmont, or which? Let's see. Let's find this out. Old Las Vegas. Is it Fremont? Whew, Fremont Street, and so the old Las Vegas, they removed all the cars off of it, and so that by removing all of the cars, you can actually walk the Strip, and so all of the old casinos are open, and they have old games. They have the old neon lights up and things of that nature, and you can walk the entire Strip from one end to the other. And as a matter of fact, the Strip is actually domed over, so that there are LED lights down the entire Strip. Let's say a 10 block length, and there's a zip line that goes the entire length, so you can Superman it all the way down. So yeah, it's and about every 20 minutes to a half an hour or something, there's a light show, a video screen, because the video screen goes all the way down the system. There's a light show. So in a fantasy realm, you could do a magical, sorry, I was trying to see if I could find some really good images of it. So the old Strip, imagine yourself a city state, and you have a large section where there's like gambling and is the dens of ill repute, and you could have wizards or spells or something, what normally is known as monsters, but they come outside and they do like tricks and acrobatics and all that kind of stuff and draw people in. Or you could have naked debauchery, hanging out in windows or walking the streets and such. For example, on Fremont Street, as long as you do not disrupt the money, the visitors that go in and out of casinos, you as a free citizen can earn money any way you want to on the Strip, as long as it doesn't disrupt visitors. So you can't sell drugs on the Strip, but if one day you want to wake up and wear a G-string and take selfies with people there, you can. And people do it as their job, their full-time job, busking, trying to make money. Now, when I say, thin, G-strings and thin spaghetti straps, I'm not talking, not everyone is made model. As a matter of fact, there are people whose body types are specifically anti, bikini and G-string, and yet they still walk the Strip, mostly naked, bucket naked, and take pictures with people, and some people perform music, others acrobats and dance and things like that. My wife was there. It was, I don't know, maybe 2:00 in the morning, and there were these kids who were doing all the versions of Michael Jackson, some music and things, and we were like, "Oh, that's cool." And then we looked at each other and we were like, it's 2 o'clock in the morning on a weekday on a school night. Why are they out here busking, right? And that's the thing. Is raconteur the word for that? The callers in front of the casino to lure you in. I don't know what they're called. But yes, there are people who stand in front of the casinos, whether it's uh, hawkers or bumper girls. The beautiful, scantily clad women that sit on the bumpers of cars. It's like those kind of individuals in front of some of the casinos. Some dance in the windows of the casinos and things like that. So there may be many different ways to lure people in, especially if we were talking about like Planescape. You could very, very much go like you could have ghosts in front of one casino and like succubi and incubi in front of other casinos and things like that. Yeah, you go pretty far within fantasy realm. The Yanking says, and those monsters and wizards doing performances, that doubles as a show of force to any troublemaker adventurers. Yeah. Yeah. Especially when you have like the proverbial doorman slash the lines out front to get into the nightclub, and imagine like a ogre with a chain around the neck of a hellhound on one side and a displacer beast on the other side. Yeah, that's what Namor's auditioning for. Yeah. So you twisting what we normally think of in fantasy, like dancing lights is a normal thing. People using prestidigitation and thaumaturgy, which I can't remember which one does where you can change and broadcast your voice very loudly, or someone could send you a message spelled like right in your ear to talk to you, like, hey, listen, we've got some great deals or pleasures or what have you to come inside. Now, of course, you're going to absolutely have your players who are like fold arms, pouty lipped. I'm not going to gamble. This is stupid. I'm not going to be tricked by these people. But an adventure could be having to go into these places of ill repute that are mazes, specifically dungeons with traps specific for the purpose, like a Squid Game kind of thing, where no, there's pit traps and ridiculous traps in here because people think they can win what's at the end of it. And you can, it may be an all or nothing, like, oh, you've won 360 gold pieces. You can either leave with that or do a double or nothing to get through the next room. Yeah, Meredith Door Demon. Yes, hauls 6 passers-by into the den of sin in one grab. Hells yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I still remember having a game where there was a succubus that was introduced in the game, and the player was like, I'm not rolling for a saving throw, I'm all in. And we all looked at each other like, okay. He's like, yeah, he's like, shoot, if I saw a succubus, I'd fail my saving throw. I'm all in. And it was pretty hilarious because then we made a story about it. We were like, oh, and then the succubus is like, you didn't even try to resist. And he was like, why? You're absolutely gorgeous. You're beautiful. I want to hear what your whole story. And then the succubus fell for the character because the succubus was kind of thrown back, was like, oh, I didn't even have to force you and stuff. It was fun. It was really fun. And it became like a dark ally contactor kind of thing. It was very fun. Red Dice says, I'm seeing someone using illusions to make billboards like the holo adverts you get in sci-fi. Oh, hell yeah. Hells yeah. Matter of fact, we as players, right? We're like, oh, shape changers, we need to watch out. Lycanthropes, oh no. Illusions, we need to watch out. But people might be into it. The wizard that uses alter self and illusions to make themselves look like different people. Of course, people would be like clapping their hands and enjoying it. I mean, imagine your low-level spellcasters who are like, oh, I can look and appear and sound like anyone you want me to, right? That's people pay good money for that today. People wish for that from some of their partners in life. Oh, there was an old ex-partner of mine. Could you look like this person? Let me describe them. They had red hair. They had blah, blah, blah. And it's like, is this what they looked like? Yeah. And what was their voice like? Was it deeper or lighter than it is? Oh, no, Yeah, the Enking says if the players are squeamish about robbing a casino, it could be a long abandoned casino, but with automated games and traps still functioning. Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking of, like a funhouse event, a Five Nights at Freddy's. Yeah, Five Nights. Damn it, you got there already. Yeah, Five Nights at Freddy's style. Las Vegas actually has a park that has the old. So Vegas is such an entertainment town that there are plenty of videos you can find of the destruction of old casinos when they build new ones, and the old neon signs have been put into a park, lit up and everything, so you can walk through and see the old signage from the old casinos that were taken down over the years. And many times when you see a movie and they will show you B-roll of your main characters navigating Las Vegas. Actually, what they do is these are old videos of sometimes older casino runs where from uh, 5 years ago, 12 years ago, 37 years ago of Las Vegas. And then they put the characters inside the casino. So it's not really them on the strip. You just see old footage and such. And you could tell if you take a look at the cars and some of the fashion at the time. And also if they try to film a movie that takes place in the past, they'll just use old B-roll from the old casinos that may not exist anymore. But yeah, and also the casinos, by the way, it's not the most important room in a casino is the money room. So all the space and all the glitz really boils down to one thing, and that's the money room. But casinos have many things to draw you in. They have tiger shows and a zoo, and of course, you got swimming pools and luxury accommodations. But having, dare I say, like things to capture your attention between the gambling. A lot of the casinos really embrace that. For example, in front of some of the casinos, there's a water show that happens where the water cannons fire water up into the air and to the beat of music. There are the casinos replicate historical locations like the Eiffel Tower, and there's a casino at the top of a CN satellite spire or something like that, and it's expensive to even go up there. And then there's even experiences where you get to hang off the edge of the tower and all that kind of business. So yeah, I mean, very much decadent and exciting for people as well. And it could be, I mean, what a great way to have a location that openly is like recruiting people to the dark side, right? The warlocks are like, "Oh, you lost all your money. Oh, so sorry. Here, let me introduce you to some people who can absolutely get you out of your debt," right? And then it's like zero level humans are like, "Damn it, am I going to become a first level warlock?" Yeah, yeah, you sure are, right? Oh man. Yeah, sure. In that case, every slot machine is functionally a treasure chest. You just got to figure out how to open it up, right? And we could talk about the gambler's high in a minute. Red Dice says that'd be a hell of a place to keep your takings from the casino inside an iron golem or similar. Yep. Oh, you think you have a lot of cash and gold and gems? No, you don't. Adventure hook. You go to Vegas to drink yourself to death, meet a lady of the night and a taxi driver, and that's how the party forms. I love it. I absolutely love that. Yeah. What's the movie? No, that's I'm thinking of To Live and Die in LA. There's another one that's about Vegas where that happened. Yep. Red Dice says you could do a twist on the Rats in the Cellar starter adventure, but it's also a casino owner hiring you to recover debts from people who haven't paid. Ooh, breaking kneecaps. So, Vegas has been known for a number of things. One of those is the kneecap breaking. So, an individual goes to Vegas and they lose all their money, but they want to keep gambling. Here's the gambler's high, right? So they go to someone, to a bookie, or not a bookie, a loan shark, to borrow money at extremely high interest rates, which is not really a bank, And the loan shark tends to have a bunch of really tough guys with blunt instruments, and you get your 100 gold, but the loan shark says, I need 125 gold back from you in 2 days, 3 days, or something. Is it Fear and Loathing? I think it's Fear and Loathing. I think it's Fear and Loathing in Vegas. Yep. And the De Niro Joe Pesci one is the movie Casino. Yeah, where Joe Pesci gets dumped into a pit in his tighty whities. Yeah. Oh, the bomb underneath the car. Wow. But Casino's a good one. Casino's a really good one. As a matter of fact, there's a pretty um there's a very funny voiceover with Bert and Ernie from the Muppet Show using the audio from Casino between De Niro and Joe Pesci. It's hilarious watching Muppets go back and forth. Oh man. Shai says fantasy Italian mafia meet fantasy drug hippies and hallucinogenic dinosaurs in fantasy Las Vegas. I love it. I absolutely love it. Yeah. There was even a short-lived fantasy show on Sci-Fi Channel called Vega about demons and angels coming to Earth, and Las Vegas became a encapsulated city state, and the lights had gone out on the Las Vegas sign, and it was just known as Vega. Yeah, but so the loan shark loans the money to the person, and they don't want to kill. Loan sharks don't want to kill anyone, but they will basically break a kneecap. They will break an ankle or an elbow or something like that to warn you that you need to pay them back in any way possible. And of course, that means all of your gambling winnings go back to the loan shark, right? And it's also basically to control people as well. Fighters and other low-level characters in Las Vegas. I love it. I absolutely love it. Now, something else that is known, the gambler's high is the idea that if you lose money in Vegas, eventually through chance, you'll be back on top. You can't keep losing, because if you keep gambling money, you keep putting money in the machines, playing cards, whatever, at some point you will start to earn your money back. So a person who is out of money will be enticed to keep spending money they don't have to both pay back the people they owe and to play the odds. Well, at one point I will start winning. The dangerous other side of the gambler's high is a person who keeps winning when gambling. And the idea is that if you keep winning with gambling, I'm going to keep dumping good money after bad because I'm on a roll. I'm going to keep winning. And if I win, let's say 20 gold pieces, well, I'll definitely win 50 because I'm still lucky. I'm winning 2 gold pieces and 3 copper and 7 silver. Oh, I won 15 gold. I'm on my upswing. I'm going to definitely win 500 gold pieces. That's what I came here to do. Paladins doing the Lord's work. Oh no. I wonder what a paladin of a casino would be like. Right? Like, do they think the gambling is good, or is the paladin forcing evil to go into the casinos to punish them for what they're doing and then taking the money to do good works? Oh no. Drew says, no, that is a gambler's fallacy to think one has eventually to win, since that is not the case. It never is. It's just like rolling dice, right? We do that. Listen, we're role players, and we're pretty brilliant, and even we get that way with dice. Like, oh, that dice is unlucky. Is it? Right? These are my winning dice. They always roll 20s on my D20s, right? That's a real thing. So yeah. Paladin of a casino would be like a gold Darth Vader, just awful. I was thinking that, like, would they be dressed in like gaudy gold? Absolutely gaudy, like, yeah, yeah, I love it. Oh man, a paladin of a casino. That's horrendous. Although the street preacher if you go to Vegas and you go on the outside, there's a lot of street preaching going on as well. Plenty of homeless, lots of people who are like down and out, and you can just tell that they are the real world human equivalent of ghouls, right? They haven't realized in when you look at them and go, you know what, you're near death. And in their eyes, they're like, no, just one more time. Just if I just do this one more time, I'm going to be above. I'm going to succeed. And it's like, well, what does success? How do you measure success? And because this is an argument I've had with my wife's friends who are like, oh, we gamble and we always win. And I'm like, no, you always count your winnings. You never measure your losings. Very few people that gamble go into it and go, oh, I've been gambling for years. I've probably lost $40,000. No, what they do is they say, boy, I always win. I've won $7,000, right? Because the house always wins. The house always wins. Yeah, paladin seduced by succubus at the door and riches inside goes to the dark side and becomes anti-paladin, which is always a weird word, anti-paladin. Golden Casino Paladin equals Emperor in 40K. A paladin of the god of gold, the domain of the plentiful bounty or something. That which is my point about the historical concept of paladin is a little, you have to erase paladin and instead replace it with like the unfortunate word that actually applies with it, which is an oath keeper. What's another word for that? A duty bound would be one. I don't know. Word is bond. I don't know. Something like that. Some kind of, yeah. Oh, I haven't seen The Witch. I've heard it's good. The Vitch. the double V instead of the W. Wouldst thou like the taste of butter? I like that term, and I don't know the context of it either. I'm just picturing something pretty dark about churning butter and horror. Shai says Casino Paladin is set upon by ghouls outside the casino and becomes the people eater detailed in the Underwood's My Favorite Undead. Yeah, the ghouls. Now, a Las Vegas casino-like region in your world could be the reason why monstrous beings exist. So mythologically, we've often had stories where humans become the monsters related to the sins that they commit, right? So it could be possible that an individual isn't born a monster, they become one in this city of ill repute. So someone that sells their soul literally sells their soul to a being here, and they work as this normal zero level human becomes an incubus succubus type of shape changer to work off their debt. Or thugs that work here, the doormen or something, are minotaurs and ogres and ettins and cyclopses that break people's kneecaps. You could even have it. Yes, is there a casino, planet, moon, space station, obsidian star? Oh, hell yes. Hells yes. Casino Unicron. Ooh. A whole planet. Yeah. Drew says, reminds me that state lotteries are basically a tax on poor people, yes, who waste their money on that shit in the vein to hope to get rich. That is very true. For those who don't know, here in the States, our lottery, the big lotteries are known as Mega Millions and Powerball. And they have gone into the billions of dollars. But statistically, state lotteries are taxes on poor folks. More poor people spend money on lotteries than rich people, the entirety of rich people ever do. Now, I'm not saying there aren't rich people that gamble, but percentage wise, the ratio of money that rich people spend in casinos is pennies. You losing 30, 50, $100,000 or more a night is not a big deal to some very rich folks, whereas poor people that spend 20, 50, $100 of their hard-earned money affects them far larger percentage wise. And Most of these state lotteries claim that this money goes to city resources like schools and nonprofit organizations and education and stuff. And by and large, you look around and go, no, it doesn't. If you have a lottery where you give $1 billion, if you took half of that and spent it on some of these services, you'd be cleaning up cities and everything. And guess what? It doesn't happen that way. So yeah, deploy the clitter bots. I also think it would be kind of fun to have like monsters that are monsters and player character aspects that are like very public and very open and such. Like Shice brought up like iron golems and like we were talking like rust monsters and minotaurs and things like that. Like imagine a minotaur, um, you know, like decked out in jewelry hanging off of the horns and things like that, drawing people into a casino. Or imagine rich merchants being surrounded by golems that are carrying all of their jewelry and carrying like bags of things that they've purchased along the way. Or I don't know, slave collars around some humanoids or something like that for the day, because you can buy anything even for a day, heck, even being possessed by ghosts, which is we think of as a terrible thing, could be something people want to engage in and enjoy. Or you could have a escape rooms for normal human villagers, because they're like, don't adventurers go through dungeons? Like, hey, it only costs 5 silver to go into the Tomb of Horrors. And it's like a mini version of the Tomb of Horrors with all the like pit traps and gender swapping and alignment changing and teleporting outside of the dungeon with no clothes on kind of stuff. Bullshit that's in the original Tomb of Horrors, which is, let's be honest, the actual original Tomb of Horrors adventure is pretty horrible. Except for the experience is wonderful. The dungeon setup is pretty horrible, right? And but people may pay for that. He says, my mom was always mad as hell about the Michigan Lotto pretending to be for education. Yeah. As I get older, you realize, like, wait a minute, this isn't for as much. If a lottery, I'm just making this up. If a lottery took half the money, spent it on services, and gave the other half away to the winner, the half that's for city services would solve so many problems, and it doesn't. It's really just it's a pot for politicians to pull money out of, and then they put an IOU back into the pot, which what a great way for that Council of Seven or the Five Kings, the five dwarven kings that I bring up, or whatever the case may be, the leadership in the town. They're like, oh, we don't rule with an iron thumb. These people give us the money. All we have to do is bless one out of like every couple of thousand people to prove to the population that there is a slight chance you could be risen up, you could ascend to greatness, and that's all it costs us, right? All you got to do is keep hope. It's not the pain, it's the hope that comes out from the pain that makes people want to give up their money. It's crazy. The End King says, ghouls outside the casino. The casino might employ them. Yeah, keep them well fed underground in exchange for their service. That is horrible. I love that. Hell, you could have a gentle lady ghouls. They exist outside the casino with like top hats. They bow to you as you enter into the town. They're like, we will see you again. Right? Go on in. No big deal. Just go ahead. Eventually, you and I are going to have a conversation when you leave. Yeah. The End King, the paladin who got turned into a ghoul, becomes the casino enforcer. All he has to do is take off his helmet and start eating people. Yeah. Oh, imagine a casino run by a lich. The pun intentional potential alone is staggering. Yeah, absolutely. Or lick. Some people say it's supposed to be pronounced lick. Dungeons and Dragons are specifically liches, is what I think. I don't think there we go. Yeah, are dwarves easily seduced by fantasy Las Vegas? Oh shit. Maybe. Maybe. Lots of rogues and bards um conning people out of their money. I could see that happening quite a bit. Wow. Yeah, dwarves might have their own casino carved into a mountain. Yeah, that's funny. That's hilarious. I love it. Yeah, but yeah, would they be? Hmm. I would say that the answer to that would be yes, and that's why the dwarf, the stoic, pissed off, hardworking dwarves don't like the gambling dwarves because they often leave work to go gamble to try to get that gold. Yeah, yeah. You could have a creature in charge of it that actually feeds on the hope thwarted. I'm looking at you, hags. Yeah, yeah. Or here's something funny. The casino itself is a fount of power and knowledge. So you're not winning gold. You're winning access to extra dimensional. So there is a chance by figuratively or proverbially or effect or uh, pulling the lever to win something, but there are uh, evil monsters, entities, and groups who want to go into this casino style location to win the great trophy, whatever that trophy or those trophies are. So maybe there's knowledge to be gained here, but it's rather random. So there's like Naga and Sphinx and Rakshasa and Jinn and doppelgangers and all those sorts that kind of navigate their way here because even they are seduced by the gambling. So they're not just even in charge of it. They want to get to the money room. They want the real power. And maybe that power is ascension or that to a greater form, or that power is knowledge that has never been gained before. Yeah. Yeah, a little bit racist there. Yeah, isn't it racist to assume that dwarves would be more prone to that? Yeah, like why do we think elves wouldn't be prone to the gambling? Just because they look good and they're tall and they have the long hair and and everything. Yeah, yeah, why not? Hell, we humans are kind of the worst. The dwarves are like, damn, we I thought I had a gambling addiction. The humans are horrible. Oh shit. Sounds like you're literally talking about a spell slot a machine. Could you imagine a player character walking around with a slot machine for their spell? Like I don't have a staff or a spell component thing. I have a slot machine I carry on my chest. Yeah. Luck be a lady tonight. Mm, mm. Imagine a Warforged slot machine. Damn. That is hilarious. That is hilarious. I see you, Sophie Soph. Yeah. Come on, come on up. Where are you? I don't have a chair for you. You have to sit on my lap and you don't want to sit there. That's my producer. Sorry. Yeah, it is pretty racist that dwarves would be the one. Like, why wouldn't gnomes be? Oh no, oh shit. The machine gnomes would probably be making the machines. And they don't just have to like make noises and sounds. Maybe they take you somewhere, or they they hypnotize you with a hypnotic pattern, and everybody loves it. You know, oh, it mean instead of dancing lights, it's like willow wisps that circle in and around the casino. I'm going to call the Vegas, right? They circle around Vega, and they are the glittering lights seen from afar, but they're really willow wisps, you know, draining people of their souls. Or maybe the people become that. Again, the transformative element of it, like what the pit fiend, the Baylor pit fiend that runs the casino with a small little hat on and a bow tie and the little tuxedo, like half tuxedo shirt on. It's like, yes, what do you need? And they're like, listen, I ran out of money and I want to keep gambling and I know I'm in debt. I know I asked you for a loan. Could I get another one there, pit fiend? And the pit fiend scratches their chin like, well, you don't have any cash, right? there is something you do have. I could, if you serve me for a year and a day, I will gladly give you as much gold as you need. And they're like, yeah, okay, yeah, whatever, I'll do it. And they're like, you do realize you owe me? Just sign right here. And the person signs it with their finger to ow. The blood comes out and they put a big old X on it. They're like, roll the scroll, throws it on a pile of like a couple thousand other scrolls. They're like, go play, go. Yeah, it'd be hilarious. And what a great, listen, we have to have some murder killing. What a great way to have like the dungeon is the casino itself, right? You literally see spectators watching people go through your classic dungeon styled mechanisms to be murder killed in them, but there are some people who survive. And then at the end of it, like people are clapping and they're being given gold and stuff, and they're like, "Woo! I almost fell in that pit trap." Woo! And then there's some kind of announcer like, "Yeah," they're like a fake creature or something. It was like, "Yes." And at the bottom of the pit trap, what you didn't know is the spikes were poisoned, and everyone goes, "Ooh, ah!" Right? Yeah, you need to get your producer a chair. On that note, thanks for another great show. Thank you, there, heathen. Get some sleep there. Where's she at? I just saw her. Hey, kitty. Come on, Sophie. Come on, Sophia Loren. There she is. That's good old Sophie. After an hour passes, she knows that the show comes to an end, so she wants to get more of her attention. Gnomes and dwarves working together to make the most addictive underground lair of all. Yeah, that would be sweet. All kinds of things. Yeah. Hell, maybe what if the players are getting encouragement by spectators watching them navigate through the dungeon itself, like a maze or something? Yeah, it would be pretty cool, hilarious. Angels send gelatinous cube to Fantasy Las Vegas to take out the trash. PCs to pick the loot out of the abandoned ruins left behind. That would be awesome too. I mean, even navigating like an abandoned Las Vegas type location would be pretty hilarious, especially with all of the jump scares. You could have plenty of jump scares with like machines activating by accident or they're old. Some of the mechanical props like the golems and stuff walking around randomly and such. Adversarial entities like other people looking for trash and treasure, the homeless people that live here scrambling for the little bits and baubles that they might capture. Yeah. What if a dragon ran the casino and they're just playing the long game to increase their hoard? Oh, hell yeah. The money room with the dragon sitting on top of it? Hells yes. With the dragon watching nearly naked people count all the gold because they know you better not sneak a piece of gold out of here. Oh, hell's no. Yeah. Or maybe the dragons and the dragon and the dwarves and gnomes and stuff are working together. They're like, dude, I'm you dragon are filthy rich. I'm just rich being in your presence rich. Yeah. Is Fantasy Vegas a front for a gateway into the abyss or cursed or Bator? The answer to that would be yes. Why not? What a great excuse for someone to go into what's nominally a small town that everyone knows is a den of ill repute. You go through the city gate and it's kind of bigger on the. You get this image that it's a little bit bigger on the inside than the outside, and as you navigate further into it, you lose sight of where the walls are at, the exit is at, and then you go even further, and you're like, I don't even remember when I got here. Well, let me just keep going deeper. Yeah, that would be sweet. I love it. Yeah. Call in last as in Hope Vegas, or is that a bit on the nose? I don't think so. And listen, it's so what I think we give too much credit to wanting to to not be stereotyped or too much on the nose or something. But Las Vegas is literally the city of sin. Like there isn't anyone that does not know what Las Vegas is about. Now, are there people who live in and around the city and have their own lifestyle and things like that. Yes, there's plenty of entertainers and people that work in the casinos that are just, they're card mechanics and things like that. They, they run food services, or they drive taxis and Ubers and whatnot. Yes, there are those people, but we all know what Vegas is about. It's not a secret. It was literally settled by criminals. And there have been movies made about it that were pretty good movies made about the settling of Las Vegas. So no, I don't think anything on the nose about this idea can be any more on the nose than what Las Vegas is itself. And mind you, it doesn't need to have to just be gambling. It could just be decadence. So it may be a place that offers one the chance to engage in opportunities that the community doesn't appreciate. Now, that doesn't necessarily need to be, I know where your minds are going, but imagine a place that is extremely good and or lawful or what have you, dancing, music, openly displaying affection. Some of these things might be illegal other places. Chocolate, wearing clothing that exposes your ankles. Okay, I'm even go further than this. Um, Portraying yourself as a gender or genderfied that is out of the norm of the more restrictive places outside of that. This may be a place that is um, freedom with a dark side, right? Oh, you get to have all your freedoms, but it's going to be at a cost. And families might want an adventure, might be just the families going, we want our loved ones to come back to us. We understand why they're there. They don't understand what the cost is going to be in the future if we only accepted our loved ones. And hey, adventurers, could you get them back for us? And when they get there, they're like, their loved ones are like, I'm not leaving. Yeah. Den of sin, gateway to hell equals freedom. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, sorry. Your comment. Abandoned fantasy Vegas, like in Blade Runner 2049, with fantasy Harrison Ford and 90-foot tall fantasy hologram Joy. Yep. And who's to say you can't get a what was I don't know the character's name, but Ryan Gosling had a pocket friend that was a holographic image, and that could be a familiar, or it could be a player character who couldn't join and they're now a hologram or whatnot. Yeah, I mean, you could play with all that kind of stuff, right? Like you could play with fantasy versions of holograms, and I'm trying to think of some other things. A player character could be an NPC that was a thug or a doorman or something like that. That's like, yeah, I'm a criminal, but I'm not that bad. you know, you could switch all the character classes and flip them on their heads. Like a thug could be a barbarian, a bard could be a street hawker. Like, hey, come, selling the snake oil kind of thing. A rogue could be a cleric in this kind of town. You know, I'm not a thief, but I sure will con you out of your money, right? I'm a fake street preacher or something. I like the idea of twisting a paladin on its head, that they're neither lawful nor good, but they are like, they're out for themselves. They're greedy and out for themselves, but they've taken the oath of the casino itself to get people to spend their money. And so what happens to them at the end? You just become another soldier, enforcer, not a soldier, an enforcer in whatever the thing may be. Like I said, people having fun, being embraced by ghosts and being possessed by a ghost as a fun thing to engage in debauchery and stuff. Red Dice says there's blatantly a Las Vegas getting set up near the player's home base in my Easy D6 game after this video. Yeah, have some fun with it. And like I said, let's go back to let's circle this all the way back. This is the day of. Your players may come. This might be a day where this place opens to the public. This may be a day where your players come across it and then they leave the next day. This day of may be a time where your players didn't realize this, but everyone starts leaving the farms and the villages and things, and they travel to this place. And the player's like, "Where are you going?" And they go, "Oh, we're going to, I don't know, Vos Legis." I could come up with, we're going to the, city of fallen angels or something like that. The city of the of tumbling dice, the city of chances. And the PCs are like, "I never heard of that." And they're like, "Oh, this only happens every 12 years on the great solstice of the eclipse of the what that doesn't really matter. The day of." And then you introduce this into your game. And heck, the players could even be part of setting the city up, especially if they are the players want to live out their fantasy of doing an evil campaign. Why not set a city like this up? And there's other criminal factions that want their piece, and the players are like, "Hell no, you're not getting a piece of this action." They could be criminals. Yeah, I would love that. The Yanking says an idea, a Wonderland type environment. The players get lost in it, complete with 4 kingdoms: clubs, hearts, spades, diamonds at war. Eventually, players find out that this pocket dimension is a casino. Oh shit, I love that so much. Yeah, clubs, hearts, spades, diamonds. You could literally pull a random card from a deck of cards, and that represents an NPC. Whatever the number is, that's the challenge rating or the power level or the die roll or the modifier that that NPC has. And based on the clubs, hearts, spades, diamonds faction, they have access. You flavor the access to whatever abilities they have. Like clubs, they're very violent. Hearts, they're very seductive. They will talk with you. They will negotiate with you, but they will also hypnotize you, charm you, use illusions. Spades, they are workers. They are creators. They are. I'm thinking of the shovels, the tools. They use lots of devices. Maybe they even use, dare I say it, I'm going to cuss, firearms. Right? They use alchemy and are artificer objects and things. Maybe diamonds, it's all cash. They'll pay you, bribe you, pay your enemies off, pay for information about you. You need to pay them to remain hidden, to not reveal who you are or your secrets or something. Yeah, I love it. I love it a lot. Yeah, exposing ankles. Think DBJs are trying to trigger my British sensibilities. Oh, those sexy ankles. Oh yeah. Oh, don't let me see a calf. I like calves. I think some people have great calves. They don't even realize it. Yeah, the holographic image is Joy. So all of the yes, okay. So the main character in Blade Runner 2049 somehow owned a pocket version of Joy, but she was also on the billboards as Joy. That's right. Yeah, and then he finds it. Yeah, then he finds a 90-foot tall Joy in the abandoned Las Vegas as Drew. Really, Drew. Really. Here, let me display on YouTube some pictures of Joy. Maybe not. Oh, by the way, guys, please subscribe to my OnlyFans. I'm in the comedy section, but you'll find it. Anyway, yeah, but Vos Legis is the angelic city of virtue. Vos Legis. Yeah, not Kavega Thal. Kavega. Yes, Shice Kavega. You know what I'm talking about. All right, guys, we're coming to the end. I've taken up too much of your time. Your time is valuable. Thank you very much for spending it here. We will be engaging in, of course, Thursday and Wednesday and Thursday, more into the settling of the United States. We're going to talk about the Black Blizzard and something else. I can't remember what it was, but we'll talk about it. So yeah, for OnlyFans, do we get more of that Namor? Oh yeah, I'll be wearing the Speedo, but you won't see it over because of my gut. The good part of Monday Part 2 draws to a close. Yeah, you're like, oh, where's my Metamucil for my OnlyFans? Yeah, Drew says no. Here, name was written that way. Not sure where your mind went there. Oh, well, sorry. I guess I went down a dark path on that one. Yeah, I went down a dark. Okay, Drew, I'll put you on a mission. You type in joy, Joi, and see where it takes you. in Google. I'm not going to say. So anyway, guys, thank you very much for being part of the show. I really appreciate it. If you haven't seen yeah, Murder Kill Monday, aka Tuesday. Oh no. We have a series of using elements from the history of settling the United States of America and the colonies and railroads and oil barons and gold rush and all that kind of stuff. So thanks there, Red Dice. Also, by the way, coming up, I'll do this further. Coming up on Heath's Geekverse or maybe Heath's Table Talk. If you know who Heath is, I will be on the show. We're not sure what we're going to talk about, but I hope we get to talk about death because I really want to talk about the idea of character death, and I haven't delved into it because of this Day of series. And I think next week we will do Westerns, Easterns, Northerns, and Southern storytelling for the Day of series. And like, some are chaos with law, some are law versus law, some are law versus chaos, and that kind of thing. So we'll do that next week. Westerns, Easterns, Northerns, and Southerns as a storytelling mechanism, and talk a little bit about the OSR. There's a bunch of crazy shit out there. I got my Shadow Dark PDF. Karen's second editions come out. Oh shit. The Knave second edition is coming out. There's a bunch of crazy OSR things, and of course Friday we're talking about Obsidian Star, the public fall on my face tabletop science fiction game that I'm making. We're going to have some play testing on it. That's kind of difficult for me, but I'm going to be able to get it through. So anyway, Drew says, "Yeah, you finally get on Heath's show. Try to make that." Yes, I will. So he reached out to me to. He has many people who do live streams, unlike myself, because I'm not that organized, schedule themselves weeks in advance. So December 21st is the date that I will be there. It'll be 8 o'clock for me, 7 o'clock for himself, Central Standard Time. Shit. Karen's second edition, not Karen. I love you, Drew. It's hilarious. Oh, I'm gonna have to sit this Friday out unless I can get Waylon on the plane. Oh, that's all right. But yeah, it doesn't matter. You'll catch it. It's fine. I wanted to talk about combat and the tools that the spiral arm, the game master, has for telling stories, and then some of the strange stories that will be told or could be told with the game system. So that's it. So yeah. By the way, those who don't know, Obsidian Star is a post-human tabletop rules-like tabletop system. It uses 2d12. It's called my singularity system. So you want to roll high, but not above your stats, except ones are always succeed and 12s always fail. And if you roll double ones, you don't even use the numbers. You just get to describe the galactic success you want. And double 12, sorry, failure, complete galactic failure. And everybody knows it. So, yep. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for being part of the show. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. And thank you for spending your time here. I hope you can make some change in your tabletop role-playing experiences. Guys, have a great one. I'll see you later. Peace. Love ya.